You know, I
Most
think,
times.
Maddie, I think you said the best word, man, is dynamic. Like a relationship is dynamic and life is dynamic because there are so many ups and downs. You can't just say that, oh, you know what, this is, life is just always perfect because it's not. It's dynamic. It changes. People ask me all the time, what's the real estate market like? It's dynamic. It's up and down. You can sell a house for 100,000 a day and it'd be 50,000 tomorrow or 200,000 tomorrow. You never know. It moves.
Mhm.
Everything should be more so like almost like a state of water. You have to be able to adapt to any situation because if my
Yeah.
wife can't work, she can't get up. I'm about to pick up the slack and I got to clean the house. I got to clean the tubs. I got to cook. Yeah, I cook
Right.
anyway. I'm like you, Chelsea, bro. I love to cook, but you have to be able to adapt because I feel like that's the one of the largest parts of life is being able to adapt to the changes that's coming because they
I
coming.
agree. I
Get
agree with
ready.
the adapting piece. Cause trust me, I can fall back. If you
Mhm.
choose to cook or whatever, you want to cook for me, all
Hey,
right, go ahead, do what you
hey,
do.
go
You
ahead.
know,
No.
you want to provide for me, all right, go ahead, do what you do. But I'm still keeping my job though. But I'm like just letting you know. But I mean, I definitely agree with everything y'all said. But I guess in a traditional sense, this is not as traditional. Like y'all perspectives, like y'all viewpoints, what y'all brought up is not really traditional. So, I guess to answer my own question, it has changed, as far as like roles and I guess being submissive. By the way, what do y'all think? Do you think a woman is supposed to be submissive?
Yes, submit, girl.
I believe that
Maddie, be
I
quiet.
believe
Um,
that we're supposed to submit to one another.
Yes.
mm,
Yes. I agree.
yep.
Mean like, I'm beneath you. It means that, ooh, who's making more sense right here, right now?
Mm-hmm.
Am I gonna lean into the direction that you're going, or are you gonna lean here? And that's when that compromise comes in. We're both submitting to one another constantly.
Constantly.
That's,
Right.
I think a lot of people like. I don't think like a lot of people know that scripture is right before the wives submit yourself to your husbands. Like people don't even know that that's like 21, and then wives submit yourself to the husband is 22. But if you follow that line of logic through, it's talking about the husband loving the wife like Christ loved the church. And if you look at Christ,
Hmm.
he submitted himself to a bunch of stuff he ain't have to. You
Yep.
know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? For him to be God in the flesh and could have wiped everything out, he submitted himself to people asking him stupid questions all the time. He submitted himself to being lied on. He submitted himself to being beat. Pharisees asked him some real stupid questions, but
Yeah,
he
I
submitted
agree.
himself to a lot of things. So when you look at that submission is like I have I have the authority to, I have the power to. However, I'm gonna forego that because I love this other person that much. And my parents have been married for 51 years.
Uh,
And my
That's
mom,
what's up.
like she'll tell people in the heartbeat, like people that hear her with the why are you submissive and yada 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 yada. And anybody that know my parents' house know my mama pretty much run the house like until my daddy really want to put his foot down. And when my daddy really want to put his foot down, like everybody know, like we all, hey, it's on you, big dog. But my mama says, as long as I treat him like a king, I'll always be a queen. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying? So I
okay.
think
I like that.
people,
I
when
like
they
that.
talk about submission, like she was saying, like people try to make it, I'm above you, you're beneath me, in
Yeah.
that type of
No,
that
it's not
dynamic,
that.
and that's not really what it's talking about at all. It's like, okay, whoever is the best suited to lead in this area, then I submit my will to you in this moment because you know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And in addition to that, it's not number one, we're on the same team. So what
Mm-hmm.
we're submitting to is the mission that we're carrying out together. Like, what are our goals? We want to have peace, we want to have joy, we want to have stability. So if your idea is more in alignment with those goals that we're setting out to achieve, then I'm not even submitting to you. I'm submitting to something that we agreed upon together. It's just
Mm-hmm.
that my idea right now, my perspective was a little bit limited, with regards to making the decision in this moment. that is in alignment with the greater purpose that we agreed upon anyway.
Mhm.
So we're always basically in agreement. Like if you like, we're on the same team. We still want to carry the ball to the basket.
Yeah.
It's just that, you know, I might not be in the right position to be able to carry it out in this moment. So I got to pass you the ball.
Right.
So that's back to know your roles and your limitations.
Yeah.
Like, know
Yes.
know what suits you best, and that's what you go with, you know, as far as the team dynamic of who's going to be pushing point this time, you know, because if you're not that person, please don't step up and have us in, you know, the hole somewhere because you thought you can do it knowing that this ain't your role.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I definitely agree, you know, and submissive is respect. The other way
Yeah.
is, you know, it's respecting one another. I would never discount my wife's opinion on something ever, but you know, because she's her own person. She has her own right to have her own opinion. I will never discredit that at all.
Right.
You know, and saying somebody is above one another, that's really dominatrix, and that's a whole nother little it's a whole nother thing. We ain't getting into that.
We done took it down. Heavyweights after dark.
Yeah, right.
Bye.
It's a great.
It hit 9:27. Like,
Yeah, we ain't getting
Telly?
into that. But
Well, I feel like I answered this question a little bit differently. I had a hard time answering this question, but I want to look up what like submission really meant, and
Right.
I thought of it in the context of a relationship, just I guess more so like dating options, I guess. So, for example, I live in an area, not to cause any offense to anyone, but I live in an area where I have not come across men that, you know, believe in God, you know. They just had different beliefs. So that's been, I mean, it's like I don't even see them as an option, like to potentially date. Maybe, you know, a friendship, or I'm say, well, friendship, associateship, just to, you know, give you, you know, just plant some seeds or whatever, but, you know, still get to know you. But when I think of submission, I think of who do I trust to lead me? Like who do I trust to actually lead me? And I get when I think of it in the Christian sense, especially because, you know, my context right now is like, well, if you don't believe that, you know, Jesus Christ is the Son of God, how would I know you're actually leading me through the righteous path? Like, you know, have you submitted enough to God that you would want to, just like how Chiyoki said, to love me like Jesus loved the church?
Mhm.
So that's the context of what, you know, when I heard that question, that's what it made me think of.
Right. Okay. All right. And this brings me to my last question, guys. My last question. So as far as just this new day and age we're in, as far as like shooting your shot, okay? So as far as a woman, I know it says in a good word that he who finds a wife, not she. But what do you think about that? What do you think about a woman approaching a man or proposing to a man? Me personally, I think that's just way
Negative.
shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot. But proposing though. Okay. So go ahead.
Okay, I'm like newly single.
Okay, girl.
Okay.
Yes.
And, you know, during the
Single women all on the show.
Party?
During the time, throughout the time,
Except for Daryl. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm out of
It's
this.
all
I'm out
right.
of this.
We
I'm
needed
out
your
of this.
perspective.
throughout the time,
quiet
throughout the
first.
time of my relationship, I curved a lot of guys. Like
Right.
I was curving them left and right, like,
Okay.
you know. But when I got to a space where I was like, all right, I'm ready to date again, I didn't want to like get on a dating app. I got on one for like literally a few hours, and I was like stressed out, like everybody's so weird.
Oh, girl,
My girl's
tell me
like,
about
"Get on
it.
this app," and I'm like, everybody's so weird. But I already have like guys coming at me anyway.
Yeah.
So when so this is how I shoot my shots. Okay.
Yes.
I don't exactly ask you out. I'll never ask a guy out. I don't think I'll ask a guy out. I haven't had to. But what you do is you send out a bat signal. You know what I'm saying? You just let them know I see you, see me. And at first I was acting like I ain't see me, but now I see me. And it's too easy. It's way too easy. So you just let them know that you guys are so easy. But no, you just send out a bat signal. And or you can follow up, kind of circle around the block. Like, we can have that drink you were asking me out for like 7 months ago. So that's essentially kind of shooting my shot in a lazy way, because it's not like a new person, but anyone who's expressed interest, I'll send out a bat signal.
But I like that.
You're not shooting your shot. You just calling them off the bench.
Right.
Come down.
Right.
Number 52. Number 52.
But
anybody
I like
that. Circle around back around the block.
See, I like that better than a woman actually saying that she gonna shoot her and be asking you out and proposing to you. And like, I'm not a traditional type person. Like, I feel like all traditions don't need to stay, but I feel like some things, like a man and a woman, and a man asking a woman to marry him and asking him to asking the woman out on a date, I feel like those things should stay. But as a woman, if you say, hey, I seen that you was trying to go out for a drink, is that still open? I feel like that's acceptable, and to say, I ain't gonna say that.
Okay, cool.
I don't know, I'm kind of confused. Yeah, okay, I'm done.
Like
are good.
Like all my pictures.
That's it.
Slide in my DM. No, but for me, like for me, I'm very oblivious to people liking me, because like I'm very like tunnel vision, especially now that I got my daughter. Like my whole focus is like lyric, period. And so if somebody like me, the odds of me being able to pick on that is slim to none, unless they be like, hey dog, I like you and I want you. Like, and as far as the he who findeth a wife thing, I think we got to really, really get that in context, because the scripture don't say only the men can be looking. And being so like, and if you do that, and if you look at everybody's favorite matchmaking couple in the Bible, Ruth and Boaz, Ruth was at Boaz's crib when he fell asleep at work, sleeping at the foot of his bed, rolled the covers back off his feet, and when he woke up, she was there.
That's so real.
She what? Okay.
If you ain't got that kind of energy, then you don't want no Boaz. I'm tired of people using this
It does
scripture.
have to be reciprocal, for sure.
But no, for real. Like, I think if you want something, then you should go after it in the realm that you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So if you're comfortable with like, hey, I noticed you looking at me, then that's it. Like, if somebody proposed to me, I don't know how I would take that. You could call it what you want.
Don't take it.
I mean, if I'm not, but the thing is,
you got that on her knees. You better say yes if a woman proposed to you. That's embarrassing.
I mean, and that's my thing. Like, if I don't know, I've done some crazy things for love. So if somebody was in love with me that much to like put it all on the line like that and be like, hey, look, man, I want to marry you. I really don't know what I would do, but I don't think there's nothing wrong with a woman shooting their shot, because I think when people don't shoot your shot, you end up wasting a lot of time. And I'm pretty sure everybody has been in this situation where you minding your own business, or you in a relationship and you get out of a relationship, and all of a sudden everybody want to tell you how much they used to like you in high school, or how they always thought you was cute. The night I proposed, I had 100 text messages.
Stop.
What?
People are trash, first of all.
I had 100 text messages. And I won't even say it. Some of them were on trash, but all of them weren't on trash. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was a mixture of trash and a mixture of like, dang, well, I guess I ain't got no shot with you now. And I'm like, well, no, you don't. But if you liked me back then, you should have said something. Like, that's on you. So, like, if you are comfortable.
How many people had your number? It's a lot of.
Say what?
How many people had your number? They weren't.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, like, a bunch of people had my number. And like my number didn't change either. So my number didn't change. So I mean, but you calling people off the bench from 7 years ago. So
7 months. 7 months, right?
right, 7 months. It's years. You just said 7 years. Rewind the tape. It's gonna say 7 years. But no, but like for real, like you like if you really like somebody, like it's nothing wrong with saying that you like somebody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying degrade yourself or push yourself out of yourself, what you normally would do. But if you like somebody, especially if you're dealing with somebody like me that don't be paying no attention, like you have to like expressly be like, hey, because the truth of the matter is that sometimes guys are just as much when we have real intention for a woman, we are just as nervous and scared to speak to somebody. Like, so if you in a club playing a club game, you just playing the numbers game. Hey, sweetheart, what's your name? Hey, baby girl, come here. And you're going to keep going till somebody say yes. But if you have been watching somebody for a while, you're like, man, like she has character. She has charisma. She got her edges or whatever it is that she has. Like you're going to be a little more.
That matters. Hey, that matters.
Like, but you're going to be a little more reluctant. Like you're going to be a little more careful in your approach. So like for guys, it's ladies, right? And so ladies, for guys, it's just as intimidating for us sometimes. So if you, it's nothing wrong with letting it be known. I ain't saying you got to plan the date and pick me up, but just saying, hey, like I think you're interesting. Or you know some kind, like she said, some kind of bat signal where I can be like, oh, they shining light in the sky. Yeah. Let me show up and save the day.
But what if you're not that type? I'm sorry, Daryl. Go ahead.
Oh no. Oh, you know, I think I'm about to say, like, you have to know what you shooting at, right? Don't be out here with a basketball and you shooting at the rim the size of a ping pong ball, right? Because that's you setting yourself up for failure. Like I feel like with a woman asking a man to marry her, a lot of times he ain't asked you because he probably ain't ready, and you about to set yourself up for a whole lot of heartache, right? So it's just like telling the man an ultimatum that you better marry me by the end of the year.
That's true.
Hey, telling that man to marry you by the end of the year probably ain't what you really want, because you about to set yourself up for something that you weren't even ready for.
Right. You should want it without an ultimatum.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you got to know what you're shooting at. Don't be out here telling somebody that, oh, you about to propose to this man that you know still got some hoe in him and he ain't about to sit down.
Can't force
it. Period. Yeah, no, I agree.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, boo.
Although I don't subscribe to, I'm lying, I subscribe to the gender roles of society. I have take care of me, baby. Yes, I'm taking care of myself, but you gonna take care of this household, okay? And I have no problem taking care of it in the way that little old Miss ladies in the 50s did. I love it. So I'll say this, and I'm such a dominant woman, so not a lot of people expect that. But
I didn't expect it at all.
No.
Yeah,
I wasn't ready.
I've never not had a man take care of me, and I've always been independent, very, very independent when I'm single. But I'm a damsel, okay? I'm a damsel. I can't do nothing. I'm not putting no furniture together. I'm not a strong Black woman. I'm weak and I need you. Okay?
Did y'all hear her accent change?
Right, I heard it. I heard it.
I be at I go to IKEA, I buy stuff from IKEA, put things together, and we was talking about gender roles. I'm like, I can imagine myself going out mowing the lawn. Like, I just think that would be fun, like just be out in nature and see.
But sometimes you have to do what you have to do. Like my purse said, when he comes along, then I don't mind giving that stuff up. You can take out the trash. You can do all of that. I don't have no problem with it because I done did it for far too long. Okay, just tired. Okay, so
I'm gonna learn that though. I mean, you got to play that card sometimes. I think for me that has been time. Oh,
and it's all right. It's all right. We accept you as you are.
Right, but there's been times where I've actually went up to men and was like, "You're very attractive." Like just just point blank. And, just to let them know that sometimes, I think in the past I had a little bit of truth juice, so, but, it was honest, but, and I didn't really expect anything out of it. It's like expressing the interest, and, if you, respond to that, then, you do. If you don't, I think you fine, but I had another thought, but it just went away. It'll come back.
I've shot my shot as well.
Yeah.
I have.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no.
The end of my thought, what I was trying to get to, I know I kind of got y'all all laughing, but I am a damsel. But in addition, like, men want to, even though sometimes we are kind of put in a box, I feel by nature, men want that chase. Men want to take care. Men, I know, like, on the internet, it's like, I don't want a woman, like, are we 50-50? And all the men are like, she's that chaser. She's this. And I feel like the only men who are really, really angry with that, because I believe that you do whatever's right for your household. If you and your husband splitting it down the middle, by all means, do that.
Do what you do.
A woman's paying the bills, by all means. I'm not doing it, but do that. But I feel that most men want to take care of a woman, not just financially. He wants her to feel safe. Like, all those dominant things about a man, he wants her to feel that. And the only way that he's arguing about, like, I'm not doing that, is because he can't show up. He can't step up in that way.
Yeah.
I'm just speaking from experiencing good men, like, and not even just in dating, like, men who are capable of stepping up in that way, and some who are even honest to say, man, I'm not really at a stable place to be able to take care of my family financially by myself, but it's a goal of mine. I want to be that provider financially, because that's something that, one thing about Black men is they want to do whatever the rappers do, and the rappers are talking about taking care of their woman. So stop acting like that ain't what you want to do too.
Live.
I don't want to do everything else the rappers want to do.
Speak on it.
But then when your limitation comes into play, you're like, I don't want to do that though. Like, yes, you do. Yes, you do.
See, I have another, like, kind of, I guess you can say, kind of issue though. There's people that, in the past have tried to approach me, but a lot of men that I come across, I can tell they're interested, like, you can feel it, but they're like scared to step to me. Like, it's like, I guess they kind of see me as intimidating.
Yeah, that's what it is. Say it again, because some men are really intimidated by some women.
Yeah, I'll never forget, since I've been down here, I was working at this one job. This guy, he would talk to all of his, other coworkers about me, right? Like, oh, I want to talk to her. She's beautiful, all this kind of stuff. And then when he would see me, he would say hi, but like he was just like so shy. I'm like, you didn't even try to shoot your shot. I really wasn't interested, but like, he could at least try. But, and then like, he actually went through a friend. It kind of reminded me of like middle school, high school. He went through a friend to ask me, what would I be interested in, or if he could talk to me. It's just like, it's like, so if you don't feel comfortable coming to me, like, like expressing interest, how would you be in a relationship with me?
You don't find out once you get in a relationship. That's called an assist. Okay.
That's called a what?
An assist. Magic Johnson was an excellent scorer, but you know what Magic Johnson is known most for? His ball movement, passing the ball. The shot still gets shot and points still get on the board.
But I'll tell you this, the guy. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Tell me how this ended. Tell me all your business.
So the guy, I basically said, I didn't even say that I was interested or not interested. I said, tell him to come to me. That's what I said. I'm like, I don't want him to come through you. Tell him to come to me. And I didn't say it like bossy like that. It was like, if he's interested, just tell him to come to me, real soft tone. But he never did.
Okay.
He never did.
Hey, look, can I ask this question? So as a man, right? I don't have a problem approaching women, but at the same time, I kind of have I have this kind of masculinity thing that I believe in, right? So as a woman, do you feel that if a man can't have that masculinity in a relationship, or he can't have that that sense of you know, we put you on a pedestal, but at the same time, it's not him worshiping you. Do you feel as a woman that that's a turn off?
Could you ask the question again?
Yes,
All right,
please.
so okay, so if a man is in a relationship with, you know, with you guys, right, as a woman, a man and a woman together, or however it is, and a man puts you on this pedestal of worship, but at the same time doesn't have that backbone as a man, is that acceptable to you as a woman in a
I
relationship?
don't want nobody to put me on a pedestal.
Nobody.
You know, I
Like,
don't.
Well,
I'm
he's
sorry.
not saying pedestal like that. This is what he's trying to say. You
Please.
got a man in your life that adores you,
Mhm.
Yeah.
that will do anything for you,
Mhm.
but to the point where he ain't got no backbone, where he can't tell, like
As a man.
he's afraid
No,
to tell you
that's-
no. He afraid to step up and say, "Hey, no, it ain't no Outback tonight."
Can I speak from
I
experience?
need that though.
Can I
Not
speak
Outback.
from experience?
Go ahead, talk
Okay.
about
Go ahead,
it.
Lene.
girl.
Go
Hold on, man, my
ahead,
magnetic
Lou.
glass come off. I gotta go.
Okay, I won't say that he didn't have a backbone, but let me say this. I was with someone who did praise me.
What's his name?
Don't answer that. Keep
praise
going.
me, worship the ground I walked on. But as I grew and I evolved, I recognized I don't need to be praised. I need to be poured into. I need to be stretched. I need to grow. I need to be molded. So from who I was, it was like, put me on the pedestal, praise me. Granted, I still want to be praised because I'm a praiser.
Oh yeah.
You know, however, the more I tapped into who I was, and I knew this great purpose and, you know, what God was doing in my life, I'm like, I don't just need to be praised. I need a little bit of pressure. Because I'm a diamond. And so, no, you cannot just hold me on a pedestal and not have a backbone. That's not going to work for me, because how will I be propelled further into my purpose? I need you to push me, stretch me, make me uncomfortable. You know, I need to be in a position where I must grow. And you just being passive, it actually became very frustrating for the new person that I evolved into. Like, man, I used to be okay with like him not caring about anything I did, or you know what I'm saying? Like everything was just like, yes, yeah, you can do this, you got this. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, all right, well, now I'm stepping into my purpose, and I can't do this with just praise. Praise ain't gonna get me there.
It's really not. I think what I think of when you say that is more so, I mean, I don't mind somebody adoring me, but when I think of like somebody putting on a pedestal, quote unquote, it's just like the type of men that I've come across that's like that, they're not really good at expressing themselves. So it's like, it comes down to communication. Like if there's like an issue, or I did something that irritates you or I upset you in some kind of way, if you don't tell me, but you have to have a backbone to be able to tell me that there's an issue. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Because, you know, a lot of men are not very expressive. I know as myself, I'm not very, especially not when it comes to feelings that I didn't even know I even had. So believe me, I'm not that expressive person. Like, you know, I still hold that kind of stoic, you know, we don't show a lot of feeling because, you know, that it's not the fact that it could show weakness, but at the same time, it's something I ain't really got time for. I ain't got time to be sitting here crying and shedding tears because I got stuff to do. So
I think you can still like express yourself without saying, well, I shouldn't say that as a counselor, but I think you can still like express yourself without exactly saying, I feel sad when you do this. I mean, you know, if there's real communication breakdown, that's an intervention that could work, but I still think it is possible to, you know, express yourself, or even if it's just like, if it's not feeling okay, well, let's talk about this specific situation that happened. Like what was this action? And you know, what was the outcome? How could that have been different? Do you see what I'm saying?
But yeah, you talking like a counselor though.
I know. You can't.
I mean,
when it's natural and you go to school for that, like it's hard to just turn it off. You know.
I totally understand, but I want to point that out because most women, women that I have encountered either personally or heard stories from talking to my boys, they don't approach it like that.
Okay.
And so that's why a lot of dudes like already like I'm not an emotional person, just naturally. Like I've been the most emotional I have been only because I had my daughter. My daughter triggered something in me that made me flip totally from what I was on.
Mm.
Like, but before then, like I was like, there, like I just don't have the energy for it. You know what I'm saying? And so I would be in relationships and I probably messed up a couple of them
You
because
are.
like my girl would be mad about something and she wants a reaction out of me or she wants me to show that I care. And I'm like, I ain't got no time for that. Like whether I really cared or if I didn't care, just be like, I'm not about to sit here and argue with you. That's like always been my thing. And it's pretty much my thing to this day. Like I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. But being able to understand and having the emotional IQ to be like, okay, like what you're saying, okay, if you want to talk to me about it, we can talk, but I'm not going to argue about it.
Right. Oh, I don't like.
Mhm.
And I think what some women make the mistake of is that they come with the argumentative tone and are expecting to get a conversation out of a man. And most men are pretty much on the I'm not about to argue with you.
But say sometimes it's not argumentative. It's
At
just
all.
that's my passion. Like I said earlier, so
But your passion, your passion
that's
is
my
not gonna spark
passion.
this argument.
It's cute to say it's your passion. Like I get what you're saying, but at the same time, like if your passion is nigga, you ain't
Oh no,
No,
never,
that's combative.
never.
Like,
That's very combative. I would never degrade like in any argument. That's why I'm not about to,
But
put
sometimes
you down.
as a black woman though, like I said, y'all voice is strong, y'all voice is stern. So that passion comes off as you talking down to me or you talking at me and you not talking to me. So yeah, it's
Can I
you about to spark an argument with your
can I give an
tone.
example?
You
Go
can
ahead,
go
give me your
ahead.
example, girl.
Go ahead.
Okay.
What's his name?
Okay.
Bro.
All right. So let's say in this story,
Daddy, we
let's
ain't
say,
forgot
you know,
about you either. We about to get all your business too.
right.
You
I
say, I
like
don't
this
even
though.
care.
This is context. I really appreciate this perspective. Thank you for doing this, Latifah. I appreciate it. So let's say you've noticed that your partner had been kind of been distant or like really really stressed out at work or something like that, or you can tell something is wrong, but they just don't want to talk about it. So here's what I would say. It's like hey babe, I've noticed that you've been kind of distant, or you just don't seem like yourself. Is everything okay? I feel like that's in that calm tone, and still in that calm tone, don't get a reaction. Like what about such situations like that?
You have to accept that they don't want to talk.
Okay.
Exactly.
Come back to
But
it
what
later.
about this the next day? It's cool, no work, you had a break, but it's let's say it's not even just days, it's been months of no talking about that. What would you suggest in that if communication is key in the relationship?
A mediator, because it's coming from experience, just with touchy subjects and stuff that really touch a nerve. Sometimes just by ourselves, or it might spark into an argument for us to sit back and realize it later that okay, we can talk about it in a general sense. But I feel like if when somebody don't want to talk about it, or if somebody has that just that edge on them, like, nah, I don't think you really ready to hear this. I think that's something that should be held to, and I don't think you probably ain't really ready to hear this on your own. Like it probably needs a counselor to, and I ain't never been, to a counselor, before all of this though, but it's needed sometimes to help to get down the right pathway and not down the pathway. I feel like you probing at me, or I feel like you coming at me on some other stuff, or I feel like I'm just not ready to talk about it, but you own me, you own my head. I need you to back up off me. Like it's sometimes you just don't give off, even though you got good intentions, but what they say, bro, the road to hell was paved with good intentions. So it can always lead down to something that we really neither one of us want. So I say a mediator. That's just my personal experience.
I think that's
And if it's serious enough if that one situation is that serious. Because sometimes what happens is, and everybody does this,
Mhm.
we get invested in knowing the business more than we are invested in anything else. So now it's not just I want to make you feel, but it was like now I really want to know what's going on because you're not telling me, and I feel a way that you're not telling me. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep probing because I want to
I feel
know.
like it's
I don't
something. It's
care if
something.
it make you uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying?
It's
And
something. It's something.
everything else in the relationship could be going great, but because you keeping this one thing away from me, like I feel like I can't trust you in nothing else because you keeping this from me.
Mhm.
And so like with me, I'm like that. And so I had to learn. Well, I had to learn to let people know that listen, some things I just won't talk about. And it doesn't mean anything negative on your part, but some stuff I just don't want to talk about. And you have to accept that I don't want to talk about it. Like for me, if I don't want to talk about something, or if we're in an argument or something, I'm not saying anything, it's really to protect the person that I'm in a discussion with.
Yeah.
Because I know I got a smart mouth.
Seriously.
And when I go for something, like when I go at it, like I'm too, my wit is sometimes too quick for myself.
Ooh,
And
say it.
so with being in a relationship with somebody and you knowing stuff about somebody, I might mess around and say something to cut into you real quick.
Just as a defense mechanism.
And that in the force that it come out with is gonna cut deeper than what I intended it to cut deeper to. So instead of engaging you in conversation right now and end up saying, shut up, that's why your mama don't want you no more. Like, like, you know what? Let me just not say anything. Let me just be quiet.
I think that's important. I think it's all about, you know, acknowledging the fact that I don't want to answer this question because it's touchy for me. Saying that, because communication is key. And if you're remaining quiet and silent when I'm asking and steady probing a question, you cannot expect for me to just read between the lines and say, oh, this is touchy for this person. You have to say that. You have to be like, you know what?
Personal, we're assuming all communication is verbal.
You're right.
All
Sometimes
communication is verbal. So like for people, if you really know somebody, then you should know. Like people know when I get quiet, leave the man alone. I don't have to say it. Like because they know, like when Chioki quiet, like leave him alone. Like my daughter, like I know all of my daughter's cues, her verbal cues and her non-verbal cues. So I know, like, okay, certain times, like I need to leave her alone and just let her sit her cries. I know when she really crying and when she crying for attention. You know what I'm saying? So like to expect somebody to always be like, I don't want to talk about this can be unfair because sometimes you just don't want to talk. And if you know me, you should be able to be like, you know, and it's nothing wrong with saying, dang, boo, I can see you don't feel like talking right now. So I ain't expect you to say nothing. Just know whenever you're ready to talk, I'm here.
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong. It's nothing wrong. It's nothing wrong with sitting your butt on that couch and being quiet and bringing that nigga a sweet tea and just be like, I'm ready when you is.
Sweet tea. Okay, so listen, I get where you're coming from, but this is to Telly's point. If you ask a question and you're just silent, like you're not saying, or you walk away or what have you. Yes, I can know you, but that doesn't matter. It's about respect. Tell me that, you know what? No,
not right now.
We're not about to discuss this right now. We gonna table this, okay? Yeah. Or even if we don't table it.
But walking away means not right now.
But walking away could also look for the other person
not
that has
cool.
concern as like rejection.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
Or I don't matter. My opinion, whatever I have to say doesn't really matter.
But it's not and that's the thing, matter, though.
That's the point. Sometimes this is the point that I'm driving home. And I get what y'all saying. So just like I'm saying, you have to know the person you're with. Yeah. I had to bring myself to a point where I'm like, okay, look, I had to muster up the control to say, I don't want to talk about it right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it.
But what I'm saying is what you're kind of getting into, because even your posture is changing. Like this first you're like, well, let me know. And then you like, well, that's rude because you ain't saying nothing. Like your whole body language changes. And it gets to the point where it's not that I care about what you're feeling, but it's the fact that you're not telling me what you're feeling. And at any point, your concern becomes more for why aren't you telling me the problem than like you don't want to talk about the problem. That's when it becomes a problem for me. I ain't even gonna say for all
Yeah.
dudes. But that's
Yeah.
like one of the things that I hate is when I say I lose something, and then somebody be like, "Well, where was the last place you had it?" Well, if I knew the
Well, if
last
you
place
knew
I
that,
had it,
right.
it wouldn't be like that kind of stuff aggravate me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, you have to kind of like, and you're right, it goes on both sides. But my experience
Definitely.
has been, and I feel like the majority of dudes that I talk to, their experience has been is that the woman is more concerned with the fact that we're not telling you what's going on than you are with the fact that something is going wrong with us. And sometimes being supportive means being silent and just sitting there like, look, boo, whenever you're ready to talk about it, I'm here.
I disagree, Purse.
I
Reason
don't
being,
know.
Feels like
I'm a
10
different.
years.
That's
Listen,
why
I'm
you
a
getting
different
mad.
woman. I'm a different woman. I listen, and it doesn't mean. It means that to me, it's I care. It's not more concerned about that you won't answer it and you trying to hide something. It's
Yeah.
because I care. Like if I brought up the question, I genuinely want to know. Maybe it could be, what did I do wrong? Did I do something wrong? Like,
And
why
it's
are you
getting-
acting like that? Did I?
And it's getting back, but do you see it's getting right back to you and not him no more?
Which,
Okay,
which
so
I
I
agree with
get
you.
it. I get it, but I still care. I care to make it right, I guess.
Right, but you
But
have
at the
to,
same
sometimes
time,
you have to care enough
yeah.
to leave it
Sometimes you
alone.
can't.
Yeah,
you
you
have
right.
you can't always claim that somebody has to respect the fact that you is communication and you a communicator and you a talker, but at the same time you can't respect the man's sense of quietness. So if I give you an answer that's
Maddie.
short and simple and sweet, don't be probing at me and not respecting the fact that I don't want to talk and you know I'm not a talker. But because you like to talk, it shouldn't be just a sense that every time you want to talk, we got to talk and you don't accept my answers because they're no.
Right.
Here's a-
No, but
here's
there
a
you go.
classic-
There you go.
Oh,
You
go
said
ahead, Maddie.
something.
My bad. Maddie talking.
Oh, I'm sorry, Maddie. Yeah, you've been sitting silent. Go ahead.
I've been listening. Y'all, look, y'all been saying good stuff. You know, look, I'm just sitting. Y'all ain't gotta yell at me. But no, I think all of this stuff, it comes back down to like the expectation piece though, of like, because I think when you're getting to know people, these are the kinds of things and questions that you should be asking as far as like, so what's the best way to approach you
Yeah.
when you're upset? How do you like to be? Because some people, like if you come in the house, like if you come in and you're quiet, some people are upset if you don't ask, like you didn't go ask me what's wrong. Like, don't you see me here?
I
I'm
agree.
soaking right now. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
notice me. And then there's other times where like you are sulking or you might not even realize it. And you're like, no, I don't want to be bothered. Like, this isn't me like welcoming you in this space. This is me like trying to permeate that you should stay away. So I think it's one of those things of like, because I think it's a mix. And Daryl hit it really good with that. Like, I can't expect you to want to talk and respect my desire to speak, and then on this flip side, not respect your desire to not like somebody. It's that submission. Somebody's always got to submit to something, and it's about that greater good. If you don't want to talk about something, like that's fine. Now, what happens after that, though, you also, as a person that isn't communicating or doesn't feel comfortable in that moment, like you have to be okay with that too, because when you are ready to speak,
Right.
I not be in a place, I might not have the same interest or the same, I might not be in a place where I'm as concerned as I was before. And some of that might be petty and personal, like you didn't want to talk now, so now you want to talk.
Want to cry. Now you want to cry.
Like, so it's a lot of like back and forth on those things. And I think like this is one of those spots where knowing the person that you're dealing with, whether that be like relationship, friendship, like what have you, knowing the person and being able to pick up on their cues, and then just trusting, because I think in moments, especially in moments when we're upset, it most of the time, like it has nothing to do with the like whoever it is that's like concerned with you. Like, and in some of those moments, like you just have to trust, like, all right, like I'm gonna leave it alone, and like just know that like I'm here. Like just throw that out here, leave it at that, because I think like we it can turn into something that isn't something, and like now we're upset and we're arguing about an argument that isn't an argument, that
Right.
like it's
that's
a whole
true.
misunderstanding. So yeah, come on. Girl said, I'm gonna bring my kids on here
She
tonight.
she was making noise, and it was inevitable. I couldn't hold off.
She's so cute.
I know. Oh my gosh.
She got to learn all this stuff, so she might as well.
Yeah,
I agree,
baby.
Yeah, I like that. I really like that statement.
I agree with what you said. And to Daryl's point, I think what you said, like you still gave an answer. All I'm looking for is for you to say, even if you say in the moment, like if someone asks you what's wrong and you say nothing, because you know you're processing your thoughts or what have you, because I'm that person. When I get silent, Maddie, you know, when I get silent, that means there's a problem. I'm processing something. I'm making sure that I don't react. So I need to self-reflect for a moment. I need to make sure, even if it takes a whole day, I need to make sure, okay, you know what? Was it me? Okay. It was you, Tifa, or it was the other person. So you're going to have a conversation with them. So I need to process my thoughts. I need to gather them. However, I gave you an answer. When you asked, are you okay? I mean, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Don't worry about it. You know, don't worry about it. But I'm going to come back to it later. I just need to process my thoughts. Stop looking like that.
No. Because that's the setup. Baby, is something wrong? Oh, no, everything good. But I'm going to come back to it later. Like,
okay, listen.
If we talk about communications, then say, if you want somebody to tell you the truth, then say that. I'm gonna come back to this later. So
it's not a way to say that an argument is going to occur. If any of the conversations that I've had with people, Maddie, some of the conversations that we have had, me and Maddie have had disagreements, and there have been times where there
get messy.
So listen, there have been times where I have, you know, I just stepped away because I need to process my thoughts. Once again, the biggest key for me is to make sure that, Latifah, you're not the one that's in, you know, that you're not the one that's tripping. You know what I'm saying? I need to make sure I'm not tripping because, like you said, my mouth sometimes it leads first and I'm reacting. And I need to make sure that I'm not reacting. So in order to calm myself down, self-reflect, I need to take a moment, a breather, and I need to think about it. Then I approach it maybe a few hours later, maybe the next day. And I just say, you know, can I talk to you about something? I think that's the
We need to talk.
Because no, I don't even come at it loud. I don't come at it like, you know what? You really hurt my feelings. No, I just say, can I talk to you about something? So I feel like what you said, you know, it kind of hurt my feelings. It rubbed me the wrong way. And I didn't say anything yesterday because I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't me overreacting, me being too sensitive. So that's why I'm saying something now, but I just wanted to let you know from here on out, this is how you handle me. Like you don't say that, like, because it hurt my feelings. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thing. But as far as a man just walking away, not saying anything, like someone, just anyone, man, woman, like just walking away when somebody asks you a question, give me something. Just say, you know what? I don't want to talk about it right now. I'm good. I'm good right now. Just give me some time.
And maybe I'm speaking from my trauma, but every time I've said that, like,
okay, come on. I'm your counselor. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, and I'm just saying, I've been in that situation numerous times. And what's a pet peeve to me is like if I say something, or if I don't say something, to have somebody constantly nagging me about it. Like it's to me, this is one of the things that irks me the most. What's wrong with you? Nothing. You sure? Because it seemed like something wrong with you. No, I'm good.
I'm guilty.
Well, why you now is something wrong with me because you keep asking me what's wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think I agree. It needs to be a balance. And ideally, yes, like I would not just walk away from somebody unless I felt I was bubbling to the point where I was something. something other than the sweet Holy Spirit was getting ready to control my mouth and make me say what I was gonna say. Like, so there have been situations where I got up and walked away because if I would have said something, it would have been horrible. So I'm like, the best thing for me to do is get up and get out of here.
Right.
But like, I still think it maybe I'm good. Personal, this is what I'm gonna do. The next time I get in one of these situations, I am going to make a conscious effort to say, you know what, random young lady.
Random.
I don't want
to.
No, that's gonna change the whole thing. You might as well not say nothing. It's better to be silent if you're gonna say that.
Like, I mean, well, no, I didn't want to insert anybody's name. So
okay.
You know what, blank. I just need some time to process this. Right. I'll try that. And I want you to try, and I want you to try. Hey, listen, it seemed like you don't feel like talking right now, but whenever you're ready, come talk to me. I'll try, you try, and we'll report back.
That's cool.
On episode 20 and see what happens.
Right.
Cool.
Yes, I agree.
But
we can do that. We can do that.
But we did get on this topic because I really just want some advice about it being hard. I mean, I really enjoy it.
Okay. My advice hat on.
Kelly, I charge $70 an hour to talk about this topic for at least 20
What's your cash app? No.
I'll put it in the chat.
But what about think about men, men in your experience, you come across somebody that you're really interested in and they are still intimidating to you. How do you get past that intimidation and take that risk? Because a lot of people are intimidated by me for some reason. I feel like I'm a easygoing, approachable kind of person, but I just want to.
You have a big personality. Niggas been scared of you for a minute.
Right, but that happens so much.
And but the thing is this though.
I'm like, let him give you the advice because
they don't. I would say this. If they can't muster up some type of strength, moxie, or something to come talk to you, then they don't want you bad enough.
Okay.
Ain't nobody
look, that nips in the butt.
Dare came off of mute for this. Come on.
Yeah, hey, I had to because they don't deserve your time. If they can't, like I said, like Percy said, if they can't get the gas up to come say how they really feel to you, they ain't worth your time in the first place. Because a lot of these guys, they intimidated because if they can't be that provider or that person that sweeps you off your feet, then they feel like they can't do nothing at all. And, which is a terrible way to be or feel, but truth be told, a lot of people feel like that. They feel like if you some woman that's making more money than them, then they can't do nothing for you. They can't be that companion for you because they ain't got nothing to bring to the table.
Here's the flip side on this now, Telly, is if the person, because like normally when we can tell somebody's interested, like you also have to have some level of interest. And so to me, it's that thing of like somebody, again, this is that submit piece. Somebody always has to be the one to take that first move. And if we both are like, if I like you and you really like me, and we both are just really, really like sitting here like, then we're not going to get anywhere. So like at some point you either have to at one or the other. And I don't know that, I mean, look, I don't know that I feel like as the woman or as the man, like one of y'all should take on more of that ownership. But if this is something, because it's the same idea to me, it's like, if you really want me, then you should say that. And then the other person is thinking like, but if they're interested in me, then they would say that. So like, we're all always thinking like we're counting on somebody else to take that first step so that we can fall in line, because taking the first step also means that you put yourself out there and things could go left. And you don't want to be the person that's out here like, damn, like he just rejected the hell out of me. Like, okay, we're good. My bad. So it's that piece to me of if I think you're worth it, because I mean, I've approached a handful of people, but it's just like if I think that you're worth it, if I think that it's worthwhile to put myself out there, I'm gonna do that. And whatever comes from that, at least at the very least, I know that I've done my part. And if something is being missed out on, I can guarantee it's only for you. It's not me.
Okay. Well, thank
agree.
y'all all.
I
And
agree.
some dudes don't know how, to be honest, some dudes don't reach that level of confidence. Like most dudes have a certain point in their life where they reach out. Like when I was younger, like in middle school, like I was scared to talk to girls, period.
Mhm.
So like I would find sneaky ways to do it, writing notes, all of that kind of stuff, like doing that kind of stuff. But like there was a point in my high school career where like I just like was being myself, and I found out that somebody liked me, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, like girls actually like dudes, like it ain't always us chasing them. And then once that click in my head is like, oh, okay. I went through a phase in high school where y'all know I'm 5'5", and I was only dating girls 5'10" and up. Like if you wasn't 5'10", I wasn't even trying to talk to you. Like, and that was just me. And like once I started doing that, after that, like it's several points in a man's life where he realizes his capability. Number one, when we realize that most guys are afraid to talk to girls they deem that are extremely attractive.
Mhm.
And then that breaks when you figure out that extremely attractive girls have the same problem that you're saying that you have. And like, they be like, well, don't no dudes ever talk to me. They don't ever come up. And then you realize, well, shoot, if I'm the one dude that come up, I got a better chance of saying yes because everybody else scared.
That's true.
Here I go.
That's true. And to
So,
your
like,
point earlier, when you had said too about like being oblivious to the fact of someone liking you or taking interest in you, I'm the same way. Like, I don't know. Like, seriously, I have for real tunnel vision. I think we were in the mall one day. It was me and you, Maddie. And then I forgot who else it was. But they had said, like, bro, everybody checking you out. And I'm like, what? I'm not paying no attention. You know what I'm saying? I don't even recognize when men are checking me out these days or when they like me, because I'm so used to, like you said, men being intimidated, and I don't know what it is. But I do think
it's because you flip your hair a lot.
Because I flip my hair a lot. That's why they intimidated.
Niggas is scared of that.
What's scary about it?
I'm dead too.
I feel like a lot of
real?
What's scary for real? What's scary about it?
No.
That's
Look, I
terrifying.
think it's just more so.
In your face.
No, look, it's just more so guys want something that they can know is chasing them at the same time. So if they feel like if they don't feel that interest or something that's gonna be a easy bag or easy catch, then a lot of times, yeah, that's instant intimidation, because you know it's not worth the rejection. When what they say it's 1,000 fish in the sea or millions of fish in the sea.
But it's only one of me.
Yeah, it's only one of you. But if you're not about to, I'm not about to waste my time getting rejected by you when I know it's something way easier to catch. A lot of people about to just shoot easy fish because that's just
I appreciate that point.
Yeah, they do. They do.
And this is something else you can do. The next time a dude try to holler at you through somebody else, accept the invitation, and then be like, why was you scared to ask me yourself?
No, seriously, that's a conversation starter. I think that's good. That's good. You should do that. You should do that.
I'll try that next year because I'm happy right now. But
yeah,
okay. I like that idea. I do.
But I think I never answered my own question. I think shooting your shot is important as far as proposing to someone. Never. Okay. Yes. I don't know if y'all familiar with Amber Riley, the actress, singer from Glee, I think. She shot her shot with a dude that she thought probably, I think, wasn't in her lane or what have you, but he was interested in her, and now they're a couple. So that's a perfect example of shooting your shot and something, working out, because dude was he was fine. Okay. He was fine. I was like, okay, girl. gave me hope. I was like, you know what? I might shoot my shot.
Hey, look,
But
you know what? Hey, being in the hospital and working around a lot of these doctors and and all of these people, like even male doctors and female doctors, but you feel like they're also very lonely, but because they're so career driven all the time, that's intimidating within itself though. But at the same time, they also still need love. So because I was that same person back in the day where I wouldn't talk to women. I had the whole thing about I wouldn't talk to girls just off the street. I wasn't the one to go to the club and be pulling numbers at the school dance and talk. So I got 9, 10 numbers. No, that wasn't me. I was more so the subtle killer, right? I'm gonna catch you at work talking
okay,
to you
subtle
all
killer.
the time.
Shoot, that's a line name.
But-
Killer.
Killer.
How many single women, doctor, on your floor?
First.
hey, look, brother, you don't want to be in receiving with them, man, but it's a ton of them.
Never mind. You're right.
It's a ton of them. But it's still that sense of it's you never know what you can do because a lot of these people you would think is out of your league, out of your lane, but they be just looking for somebody real and genuine.
That's
and
true.
You might not be able to make that dollar cut and you ain't got the bread or the take the trips or whatever it may be, but you might be able to be that person that can make them laugh. And you never get someone genuine all the time because everybody only see this doctor picture. They only see that you got money. So it's just like they missing the whole picture of that you are still a human being, that you still a person that feels and needs love.
Mhm.
So I think everybody is within your lane. You just got to know how to approach it.
I definitely agree, and we can build together. That's what people fail to
Exactly.
realize. Like, as long as
Exactly.
I sit down, we have a for real talk about what you want to do, what your goals are, and all this and that. And I'm a believer, like faith driven for sure. So I'm gonna have that faith for you, with you. We gonna pray together. We gonna fast. We gonna do whatever we need to do for you to meet your goals. So that's a part of building together. And so I think that's very important. So as far as a person not being in your lane, I think there's no such thing, because
No
that
such
person
thing.
that you look at and you looking down on, or that you looking up to, you know what I'm saying? Like, one day you might see that person in the future and they're doing so good and now they're past you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
so I think
Life is full of moments.
right.
Moments end and come to an end, and like I said, you never know. You really
Yeah,
don't.
you never know. So shoot your shot.
Shoot your
Moral of the
shot.
story, shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
Balls in your court.
What'd you say, Kelly?
Don't shoot y'all shot at me though, because I'm focusing on the Lord. So if y'all listening to this podcast, don't shoot your shot. I'm just
Purse,
focusing
be
on Jesus.
quiet.
Focusing on the Lord.
Whatever shot y'all want to shoot,
Good book.
shoot. What you say, Telly?
Oh, I want to send it to you, but
Oh, okay. I'm
you see
sorry.
it? Okay. Oh, it's okay. It's
what?
okay. Yeah, you go.
Okay, so what if marriage is not in God's plan? Like, single is his purpose.
Well, let's say, for example, some people are like actually celibate. So celibate and abstinence, of course, is like different. Abstinence is like waiting till marriage, and celibacy is like making the choice that, okay, you don't want to
Don't get
be intimate, for example, like that. So if thinking of the context of marriage, like some people are it's in God's plan for them to be married, but I was just posing the question that what if it's not in God's plan for not everybody, but just specific people to not be married, just
You
to be
know
single.
what? I thought about that.
This comment, brother. But that's what I'm saying.
Go ahead, Percy.
I think I was thinking about that, and I've had conversations with my friends about that. As far as what if, when to accept God's will for your life and God's purpose, what if marriage is not a part of that? What if being single, literally, because there are some people who have been who are single for the rest of their life and they don't,
They're fine.
yeah, and they're, and what if that's a part of the your purpose or your.
No, I
Hey, look,
think
we
that
all
whole
know the
thing.
scripture.
What you say,
No,
Bill?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna say we all know the scripture that his thoughts are not our thoughts and his ways are not our ways. And
Yes.
it's not
And
meant for us to understand everything. But if his will is his will, it is what it is.
I don't think God concerns himself with that as much as we like to say he does.
Okay.
Like, I don't
Okay.
think God is like, you know what, you're gonna be single your whole life. I think that is a choice that people make.
Mm-hmm.
So like the Apostle Paul was single,
Mm-hmm.
and Paul was like, I wish everybody would be single like me, but I know some of y'all need to get married. Like, that was his choice. Jesus was single because he knew he had 33 years to do what he needed to do, and that's what he needed to do. I think everybody else, the choice to get married is your choice. I have never seen a scripture that supports God saying, you know what, you're gonna be single and not be married to nobody.
But I was just talking about purpose and will. But listen, I think, like we stated earlier, the question that I had earlier about having discussions about success, right? I think that's an important conversation to have up front, and an expectation conversation. That's all. It's important to have up front, because I'm going to let you know that as far as my purpose, it's bigger than this relationship. It's bigger than us, getting married. I don't need those distractions right now, because I need to fulfill what I need to fulfill.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's really one of the reasons why I'm single. If I'm telling you that and you're okay with it, you're okay to go along the journey with me, then, we're fine. Maybe after I fulfill what I need to fulfill or whatever, meet my goals or what have you, then we can see what it's like to develop a relationship or be with one another and eventually get married. But I'm not saying as far as like just being single forever. Like I'm not trying to, push that on people. I'm not trying to say that, because I desire to be in a relationship. But like I said, I feel like what you say?
Lord, send her a man. I'm just keep praying.
Man.
Look, say it
Like-
again.
Lord,
Okay.
Lord, I agree. Me and Maddie agree right now, Lord, in the name of Jesus, that you would send my personal her Boaz, Lord. Lord, don't let her have to sleep on the threshing floor by his feet to get it. Send her a man that know when they get into an argument, he need to say, Tifa, baby, I just don't want to talk right now.
Ah,
Lord, let
Okay.
him cook, because she ain't got time to be
Okay,
cooking, God, 'cause she's
Lord,
he
always
done made a
talking.
list.
he heard my prayers. Don't you know me? Like, quit playing. I'm not.
I heard
to
your
play
prayer
with you.
too. You've been saying your prayer the whole time here. By the way, it's Hosea. If you read Hosea 1 and 2, that's
Okay.
when God says,
Okay.
go marry a harlot.
Hosea.
Hosea had to marry. Hosea
Ah,
married
I
a prostitute
We're
named
not
Gomer.
about to go
Her
there.
name-
cannot.
Her name
You
was
said Hosea
Gomer.
1 and 2?
Have to come
Yep.
in. Yes, Pastor.
Okay.
And you know what? I want to retract that. I have gotten up to cook early in the morning, and I think shut up, Purse. Stop. No, for real, because you up at she don't cook. She don't cook early. I have gotten a matter of fact, Maddie, you've actually had the pleasure of experiencing that when we lived together. I've gotten up, I cooked breakfast for my best friend, sent him off because he like a child. So I sent her plan.
You've been practicing on Maddie.
Look,
Anyway, needless to say, I'm a giver. Okay. I'm a giver. So whoever he is, he's lucky. Okay. So
Yes, he is.
I'm gonna just say that. But anyway.
But no, I get what you're saying. Like, you do have to find. So I do believe there are some times where we have to focus on what God is saying and put certain things on the back burner.
Yeah.
In regards to initiating new relationships. So yeah, I definitely can agree with that. But at the same time, like, through all the stuff that we was talking about today, like, if you find that right person, they will be able to help you move towards your, because the thing about purpose is this, is that whatever purpose God gives you will always be bigger than you.
Oh yeah.
So
for
you
sure.
have to be willing to accept whatever help he sends. So whether that's through divine favor or through a friend that you already have or somebody that he sends into your life. So sometimes we can be so focused on that we miss out on what God is sending, or we neglect what he's already given us.
Okay. Yeah. I agree.
And that's one of the issues that I've had in the past. And it's not necessarily all church related, but I would be like, okay, well, I gotta go play here. I gotta go play here. I gotta play here. I gotta play here. Then I gotta work. And then it's extra stuff need to be done around the house. So I gotta work extra hours to do this. And then so I'm stacking all these things on top. And then I'm not spending time with the people that are there supporting me through all of this. Or I'm not taking the time out to say, yo, thank you for being there, or thank you for still being here when I got back, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like that's something that I had to learn to do, is like, okay, slow down. So there was a time in my life where I had to say no to some things. And I knew definitely what I was called to ministry wise at that point, you know what I'm saying, as far as like leading praise and worship and stuff. And I would get like a lot of calls, and some of the calls I had to say no to, because even though what I was being asked to do was in the scope of my purpose and my ministry at that time, I did not have to say yes to those things. So I think that's something we also have to watch, because sometimes we can get so focused on one thing that we ignore all the other things around us, and then we neglect those things that are around us. And then we can look at a bunch of people in the Bible whose family fell apart. David, like David was so busy being king, like all his sons was like going crazy. One son raped the sister, and then the other son plotted to kill him, and like all of that stuff going on while he running around worried about being king. And so, you know what I'm saying? Like, so we can't always be so laser focused on this, the purpose God gave me, that we ignore all the people that God, because the people that God put in your life is just as important as the purpose that he puts into your life.
I agree.
And so we can't assess our own value system to it, like, well, this thing that God gave me is more important than that thing, so now I can neglect. God, I'm gonna neglect what you gave me to put more focus on what you gave me. Like, you gotta learn, you gotta learn balance in that thing.
And like you said, and some people are a part of that purpose though. Some people are connected to that purpose. So, and like you said, I do think it's important to value, you know, people as well. Well, I truly appreciate y'all, and I appreciate our viewers and listeners for tuning in to Heavyweight, the Weigh In. And until next time, once again, stay blessed. And y'all be safe out here, okay?
Yes, y'all. Be safe.
All right. Good
Bye,
night.
everyone. I enjoyed y'all. Good night.
See y'all.